Alright guys, so today I want to talk to you guys about this commercial that I ran across in YouTube where Mike Tyson is being grilled for this commercial that he was a part of, and the reporter pretty much is calling him out and saying that this commercial was sexist. And one of the major things that she has against this commercial is that in the commercial Mike Tyson is, the big strong man that comes to the rescue of these women, and she has a problem with this.
Do you think the ads are sexist?
I can see the ad being a little sexist. No, yes.
Does that bother you at all? You've got sort of scantily clad women, the big brave man coming to save, starring in a obviously sexist ad?
No, because it's really all done in fun, and people could look at it being sexist and probably have a little sexist to it, but it's not enough to make a big stink over it.
Right, so as we can see here, that is one of her major issues with this commercial, is that these women are portrayed as weak and helpless, and that Mike Tyson has to come to the rescue in order to save them. Now, when I think about her remarks and what she's talking about, one of the things that I started thinking about is like, man, have we gotten to the point where if you are a man and you're coming to the rescue of a woman, or you are trying to protect a woman, that is considered a bad thing? We've really come to the point in our society where we don't think that men should protect women. And I mean, I think that one thing is that, people saying it, but another thing is actually seeing it in practice, right? Like if a woman is getting beat up by another man, for example, or she's in trouble, I'm pretty sure that if there is a bystander there that's looking at this and letting it happen, specifically a man, I think that he would get called out for it and would get a lot of backlash for not doing anything. This reminds me of a Dragon Ball scene where Vegeta comes to the rescue of his wife, right? So Beerus, who's like this big, powerful guy that's the god of destruction, comes in and essentially slaps the man's wife, and this dude just goes nuts, right? Because this man just hurt his woman and he is gonna defend her honor, essentially. And to be honest, for me, that was one of those moments I was like, oh man, like, yeah, I get it.
Say goodbye, you repugnant bastard!
It was never a thought of like, oh dude, like Vegeta shouldn't come to the rescue of his wife, And I just think that it's kind of sad that this is to the point that we've come in our society. And I mean, even the Bible talks about this in 1 Peter chapter 3, I think, where it talks about how a man, especially talking to husbands, that we should protect and that we should understand our wives as the weaker vessel, meaning physically, right? A man is by and large, or on average, stronger than a woman, right? So it's calling us to be mindful of this and to look after our wives. And in that same regard, it mentions because they are equal partakers in this gift of salvation. So God is both saying, hey, protect women, but at the same time, I'm not saying that women are less than men, but I am stating a fact that women are physically weaker than man, by and large. So it is the man's responsibility to not use this physical advantage that we have to suppress women. So I think that this is what the Bible is calling us to do. The Bible is calling us to protect women. And I just think that it's so bizarre that in our society today, we're getting upset, right? Because men are coming in and protecting women. I mean, I've seen it where like a woman would get mad because a man held the door open for her, and then they would say something like, well, I can open my own door because I'm independent or something like that. And it's like, dude, there was a time in our society where we were fighting for men to be gentle men, for men to step out of their ego, right, and look after not only themselves but also other women. So when a man actually, takes it upon himself to look after somebody else besides himself, that man has subdued his natural instinct of only looking after himself, right? And now putting another person first. And that has been one of the things that we have been working towards. And for me, it's just kind of sad to see that we don't respect that any longer. And we don't want that from men. We're not expecting that from men. And what's going to happen is that the progress that have been made, right, from men to an extent now is going to reverse. And we're going to see men not even care to be gentlemen, not even care to look after women any longer, because, I mean, they're getting bashed for it now. And I know that, you know, it's a bit odd that I'm bringing this topic out from this commercial and this video, because, you know, there are other things wrong with that video in and of itself. But, you know, it is a good topic for us to discuss, because the Bible and God does have certain expectations that are placed on man. And we do need to live up to those expectations, even though society is telling us that we shouldn't. So my encouragement today is for men to not pay attention to women like this, to not pay attention to society, and still take it upon themselves to look after women, as the Bible states, as a weaker vessel, somebody that is physically, in the most part, weaker than we are. So, I don't know, guys, let me know what you think in the comments. Is this something that you are seeing progressing? Should we continue to try to look after women? Is this something that we shouldn't do any longer because society now has set a different expectation? I don't know. Let me know in the comments what you think. And as always, I just want to remind you that we must persevere.